required all 60 minutes of effort in really all three phases to get it done. When you really look at a game, usually it comes down to 4 to 6 plays, but I think this game was really, really different in terms of the vital plays, the key plays from a singular standpoint that really directly impacted the outcome of the game. I think the biggest element of the game, when you really look at it, was the way we bookended uh, the end of the first half and the start of the second half. We had a 14-point swing, and we ran 27 consecutive plays with their offense being off the field. So I think the way, we managed the first half and the way we started the second half was big. I thought from a critical down execution standpoint, particularly third down, that came into play. So again, really appreciative of our players' efforts. When you look at being down against a quality opponent like Georgia Southern, being down 14-0, being down 21-10. We never blinked. We don't play to a scoreboard, we play to a standard. And that was kind of the mindset in which our team performed, and just appreciative of their efforts. And, so many times you have culture win. And I think right now we're winning culturally, but we have to get better in a hurry. Obviously, a great challenge going to Troy, and have a lot of respect for their football program, their football team. They're really well coached. They're physical in all three aspects. And then obviously they have a great competitive advantage of playing at home. So we have to get better in a hurry. We still have too many red blinking lights right now that we need to continue to work on and get fixed going into Saturday night's contest at Troy.
We'll open up now for questions. We'll start it off with Luke Matheson.
Coach, I know since you've been in Jonesboro, you have preached about the run game and being able to run the football when everybody in the stadium knows you're about to run the football. Kenyon and Devin have really stepped up this season, I think, and you was able to do that Saturday night. Had a record game for rushing yards. How critical is that moving forward? I know some very solid games. You mentioned Troy this week. Some very solid games coming up. How critical is that run game for you?
Well, it's vital because you can't be one-dimensional, and we've had some one-dimensional moments this year. So I think anytime you can be balanced, it lends itself to, being successful on offense. And I thought our running backs ran really hard. They got the dirty yards when they needed it to. I thought our run efficiency, and when I talked about critical down execution early on, that was a byproduct, the run game and run efficiency on first and second down that put us in a third and manageable situations. So we were able to control that, which obviously helped. But anytime you can get your run game going, it helps your RPO game, your play pass, your naked game, your misdirection. So again, it was the most balanced we've been all year.
I wanted to ask about the defense also. I know early on there were some struggles with defense, and I know it's not there yet. It's not perfect. It's not where you're going to want it to be, but it seems like we are seeing week to week improvement in that defense.
Well, again, a lot of these individuals weren't here for spring football. And again, you start off the game 14-0, and then they only score 10 points, and they only scored 3 points in the second half. When you talk about critical moments, managing critical situations, I thought really the goal line stand at the end of the game, where they had first and goal, and we were able to only give up 3 points. That's a 4-point swing. And so again, we spent a lot of time on red zone efficiency, goal line situations. So again, our defense has given us opportunities. Obviously, they'll be challenged Saturday night with a big physical imposing O line. Really, really good quarterback. He's probably one of the toughest quarterbacks I've seen in a long time. Receiving core is dynamic, and their running backs are explosive. So we're going to be challenged, but this team has a lot of confidence right now. Where we've not done a good job, and it's been no secret, is managing the opening script to start games. We've not started very fast, and once we've settled in, but for the next 4 weeks, we can't settle into games. We can't warm up to the games. These games aren't games you warm up to. You got to have the ability to start fast and moving forward.
Jump over to Adam Miller.
Coach Jones, yeah, I know you just what you just said was, you don't want your team getting, you want faster starts, obviously, but even in those situations, especially, these last three league games have been like roller coasters, maybe for a viewer. Um, what, what can you say about your team's resolve though, even in those situations where you're able to play from behind and then still, the team just has this internal belief that the game's never over until that clock hits zero. And where that maybe that mentality for your team was birthed, if it was, you know, preseason workouts, fall camp, where does that come from?
Well, I do. I think it's a process of learning how to win. And you can learn how to lose and you can learn how to win. And I think part of learning how to win is you can't lose the game. You have to first not lose the game before you can win the game. And, when you really look at it with errant problems, pre-snap penalties, drop passes, turnovers, missed tackles, all those things that attribute to losing the game. And I think, our players are learning how to win. And it's a process because of having 70 plus new players. So what we did last year really has no effect on this year's team because it's a new team. I think when you win two back-to-back 1 point victories, since this is amazing, is since 1900, there's only been 36 teams that have won back-to-back 1 win games. So that is exceptionally hard to do. So a lot that goes into it. I think our players believe in the belief that you play to a standard, you don't play to a scoreboard, and all those things that go into that. I do think we have connection, but you have to recreate it every single week. The world of college football, they used to say you live in a you live yearly, season to season. In college football today, you don't even live week to week, you live day to day. And it's just about making the most of each and every day. And we've been able to do that. But what we did last week doesn't even matter going into this week. So we have to recreate it every single day.
Go ahead. We got one more question here from Luke.
Coach, I want to ask you about that defensive line, and Demarcus had a career night the other night, 2 sacks, at least seven or eight tackles, getting a lot of pressure on the backfield and the quarterbacks. How big has that been for you, and what are your thoughts on Demarcus and how he's playing?
Well, again, Demarcus has kind of turned into one of our leaders on our team. Obviously a newcomer, but when we talk about culture and you talk about recruiting character, not only does he have great competitive character, but he has competitive character as well. And just been really proud of him. He's been playing through some aches and some pains, but he brings it every single day. He's part of our leadership group, and we're going to need more of that. But it's about again one-dimensional moments. I thought we were able to create duress in the pocket, and we were able to do that. And we were able to create third and long situations as well. And a lot of people talk about you have to earn the right to rush the passer on third down, and you do that by winning first and second down. And the last couple of weeks we've been able to do that.
Thank you, Coach Jones. Appreciate your time today.
All right, Sam. Everyone have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.